In this video, we aren't talking about stock charts or PE multiples. We're talking about the plumbing. Because if you don't understand why Palantir is structurally sticky, why a company or a government literally cannot turn it off once it's installed, you will never understand why this stock has the path to hit $500. Let's dive in and take a look at the engine powering this company. The engine powering Palantir's success is comprised of Gotham, Foundry, Apollo, and AIP. We'll get into each of these. To start off, let's go into Gotham. So this image you're seeing right here is the Gotham system. And this, when I first discovered Palantir, a little bit before they went public back in 2020, this was similar to the thing that got me interested in them. The system shows an aerial view. It looks like they're looking to extract someone from a safe house and get them to the US Embassy while avoiding enemy combatants as well as different anti-aircraft. In this system, they'll pull from different data sources to identify where there's potential roadblocks and what's the optimal path to get them to safety. It'll also show them what assets they have available, whether they want a drone up in the sky to just spectate while things are happening so they can make live decisions. Also, maybe they want to send a jet or a drone to take out something like an anti-aircraft or other weaponry in the area. So if we dive into how this is working kind of behind the scenes. So Gotham is taking multiple different data sources that previously were siloed that might have needed several different analysts to manually inspect and understand what's going on and then pass that information up chain. Now all these raw data sources get ingested and mapped. And then within the system, they'll be able to pattern recognize and see in real time what is happening. And then that way it spits out to the analysts different decisions that they can make. It'll show them what the risk is, what different resources or assets that they might need involved, and it can show them a timeline for how long this would take to execute. So let's think of a scenario. So imagine a military commander who needs to see every satellite image. He needs to see a drone feed. He needs to see where different troop locations are, and also a weather report on one single screen. Previously, this was all siloed information and you would need to be checking multiple systems at once. Gotham connects millions of disconnected data dots to then help the humans make those life or death decisions instantly. So when it comes to military, it's critical that they're able to make these real-time decisions with all the data points at their disposal in order to ensure success and safety of our troops on the ground. Now, if we look at the counterpart to Gotham that's on the commercial side, let's dive into Foundry. So it starts off and it takes all the different data sources that might be scattered and messy across the company and it gathers them and it ingests them and it brings them into the second part, which is the ontology, which is the secret sauce to Palantir. This ontology then translates all these different data sources into real world objects. Why is this ontology piece so critical? By bringing it into real world objects, it allows normal employees to be able to understand and read what's going on. Previously, the old way would have been if a manager or someone who's not part of the technical team that's owning those data assets, if they needed an answer, they might need to submit a ticket to IT. Then that team picks up the ticket, goes, writes a script, extracts the data, and then sends a report back with the information the manager requested days later. At that pace, it's just way too slow, especially when it comes to critical different industries out there that rely on immediate decisions, especially when a supply chain is crashing. You need to make an instant decision to get things back up and running. If not, the more a system is down or impacting inventory for you, that's costing you millions. So this ontology, it basically creates a digital twin. So it translates that messy database code into real world concepts. So that way a non-technical person is able to take an immediate action in order to keep the business running. So why is the ontology considered the secret sauce for Palantir? Well, it takes this messy data that is very confusing. It translates it into real world objects such as link into different trucks or factories or products or inventory. So that way, non-technical business employees can play with that massive data without needing some complex technical degree. The ontology, it allows employees to take action. If a manager sees an action pop up and clicks reroute shipment, reroute the truck, it will then actually send that command back to the real world logistics system. And then once this ontology is set up and it's connected to all the different data assets that are running your business and it understands it, anyone can build a new app or AI tool in minutes by just simply dragging and dropping these pre-made digital blocks. Next up, now that's all great and dandy to have Gotham and Foundry, but constantly software needs to be updated. So how exactly does Palantir do this? Well, they do this with Apollo. And how Apollo works is it allows those developers to write a new feature, a security patch, or maybe a software upgrade. It's able to set up the different guardrails. Then instead of them needing to manually install it, have some downtime in the system, maybe install this after hours, Apollo, it acts like an automated pilot. It instantly tests the update, it ensures it won't break anything, and it prepares it for deployment. And one of the advantages is that Apollo can automatically push the software update to every single computer that's running Palantir software, whether it's somewhere in the traditional corporate cloud, or maybe it's bolted down somewhere super remote, whether it's on an oil rig in the middle of the ocean, whether it's in space on a satellite, or whether it's on a military drone that's out over the middle of the desert. And like we mentioned earlier, there's no downtime. The deployment can happen anytime 24/7. And as it's rolling out, people can continue to use the system without any interruption. And if there is any problems that are going out, Apollo automatically catches those bugs during the release and it'll roll it back to the previous version. And this enables the customers to continue to use the software without any interruptions. Here's just a little screenshot of what Apollo looks like. So on the left side, you can see all the different releases that have been pushed out. You can see the process as they're rolling it out to different regions. What's the health of it? Is it stable? If anything gets flagged, it'll fall under this monitors tab and immediately alert a developer who then can go in and check on what the reason is, make the fixes, and then send a new release. And they don't have to worry about panicking and getting in there to immediately roll it back because they know Apollo will automatically roll it back if anything is caught. So, what are the advantages of Apollo? So, like we said, they can deploy software anywhere. It's not really dependent on a set environment. They can deploy to the most remote areas that meets their customers wherever they are. There's zero downtime. Customers can keep using these systems while the updates are going out. And if there's any problems, the system will automatically roll it back so that way there's no impact to the consumers. And the system, it enables massive automation. You're not relying on a massive IT team rolling out these updates. Apollo, they handle the scheduling, the compliance, and the security checks autonomously. Then last up, their newest platform that is getting all the hype and rave right now, AIP. So how Palantir AIP works. The first part is it provides secure data foundation. So most companies, they want to use powerful AI such as ChatGPT, but they're terrified of uploading their sensitive data to public servers. Far too often we're seeing in the media of different leaks that have happened from AI models and sensitive data has been released that a company didn't want to get out. Palantir AIP solves this by taking public LLMs, dropping them straight into your own private corporate data warehouse. Next, they focus on strict access and security policies. And this right here is the main superpower of AIP. AIP, it acts as a secure shield around the AI. It applies strict company guardrails and security policies. This means that if an exec wants to come in and ask some complex AI question, they can, but a lower level employee can't come in here and finesse the system and trick the AI into showing them something they shouldn't be able to see, such as everyone's salaries. This really helps to prevent those data leaks that no company wants to see, and it also prevents the LLM from hallucinating entirely. How many times have you tried some AI chat and you've asked it some question and it's given you the craziest response that's not even close to being accurate. It finally allows you to make an intelligent decision and make a immediate action. So it doesn't just write up some long paragraph of advice. It will allow that employee to make a single button click that then will allow the AI to automatically take a real action, such as reroute something due to some interruption in supply chain that will limit any downtime that could be costing the company millions. So now you might be asking yourself, well, what's the difference between Foundry and AIP? So Foundry provides that data integration and that digital twin, while AIP is focused on the AI agent execution while providing those key guardrails. So Foundry's core power is it builds that ontology that we talked about being the secret sauce behind Palantir. And then AIP allows you to connect those LLMs that you really want to bring into your business, but ensures that you're able to do that safely. And then if you want an analogy for both of these, you can think of Foundry of if you're building a massive organized digital library where has all the information on your business, and then AIP would be then like your hired a genius AI librarian that can then go instantly read, summarize, and act on all those books in the library to make the best informed decision possible with the understanding of your business. And how these two work very well together is Foundry, it builds that ground truth. And then AIP, it unleashes the power and insights that you can get from leveraging AI while having strict security and guardrails protect your sensitive data. So now that we know the platforms that are powering Palantir, let's address some of the bear cases that we would hear about Palantir. So the old bear case is that Palantir, it's just some government consultant. And what we see, this is the farthest thing from the truth. We can see that commercial revenue is accelerating at a much faster pace, and the overall amount of revenue for commercial should be exceeding government in the near future, and from there on out be the main driver of Palantir's future revenue growth. And if we look at the US side, we can see these growth rates at a much bigger difference between commercial and government. Next, you might hear that some people will mention, oh, Palantir, they have so many few customers. If there was just some people that started leaving, it would be catastrophic to the business. And we can see that their customer count is growing 30% plus. So while they just passed 1,000 customers, they're growing at an incredibly fast customer count rate. And on top of that, the deals are massive. These are not like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars of deals. These are in the millions. And we can see these deals are growing quickly. So this is last year in 2025. 139 deals of at least 1 million. This year, over 200. Last year, 50 plus for 5 million and 30 plus for 10 million. Now we're seeing 70 plus for 5 million and 47 for 10 million. So customer growth is growing 30% plus, and on top of that, the deals themselves are getting massive. And what we can see is they're dealing with some of the largest companies and departments and agencies out there, which makes sense when the deals are in the millions. And the mission and positioning that Palantir does is a key driver to their success. So if we're looking at their mission, it's to build software that empowers organizations to integrate their data decisions and operations. They believe that if a company has good data and the right software, they can tackle the world's most critical problems. And we're seeing this in real time as Palantir has been key for winning different wars, protecting and getting troops home safely. They've fixed global supply chain issues that have saved companies in the hundreds of millions of dollars. And they're working to save the healthcare systems by improving their efficiency, enabling a hospital to get a patient in and out quicker to free up bed space for the next patients that need the critical care. In Palantir, they position themselves as an exclusive mission critical infrastructure rather than just a standard software as a service tool. They're viewed as a key operating system, not just some software application that you can plug and play with. And customers, they justify the massive cost because they're seeing the return on their investment come in by preventing these catastrophic downtimes and different operational failures. And the elite AIP orchestration is providing companies and governments a secure data fortress, allowing them to connect LLMs to their highly sensitive internal data while they maintain their strict governance and security. And Palantir will often tell their customers that our software, it'll save you hundreds of millions of dollars. If you want something cheap, just go somewhere else. And they see it actually as a tailwind when customers go try something cheaper and they discover that it's just some AI slop where they're spending tons of money on tons of tokens and they're getting no real benefit out of it. A world-class platform is nothing without world-class execution, which brings us to the ultimate wild card in this $500 thesis. Hit that subscribe button because in the next video, we're breaking down Palantir's unique anti-Silicon Valley leadership and the culture that makes them unstoppable. I'll catch you in the next one.